So our main event for this episode and our main event for WrestleMania is the World Heavyweight Championship. Brock Lesnar defends the title against Roman Reigns, but neither walk out with the title because what happens, Sean?
Well, I don't know if you heard, but Seth Rollins, the guy with the blonde streak, who was green and would never amount to anything, is the WWE champion now.
Who the fuck ever said he was green? I don't get that.
Yeah, I've never said he's fucking green. Tyler, like, even when he was Tyler Black, I wouldn't have considered him green. No one here said that.
You just
What about when he
Sean
was
down.
Tyler Green?
You broke him.
Tyler. God damn it, Tony.
Seth Rollins is still champ.
So yeah, Seth Rollins is our new WWE World Heavyweight Champion. He cashes in the middle of a match, which has never been done before, on top of never being done with cashing in WrestleMania, like in total. That was a bit of a surprise. It was kind of something that you could see coming, but at the same time, were WWE going to pull the trigger or not? And I marked the fuck out. I think pretty much everybody did. Very cool to see. I think it's a good way to get around the issues that they had. And, you know, I'm all for Seth Rollins being the champion going forward. I think Roman Reigns got way too much shit from the universe. He could have been a decent champion, and he will be a decent champion. So on top of this, let's talk about the match itself. Let's talk about the cash-in. And another thing that you guys can mention out there when you're going around the table here, if, I should say, Roman Reigns wins the title, when should that be?
This
I'll
match
start.
was...
You start it off.
I'll start as the guys talk. Yeah, you can go first, Drew.
Damn it, that was not It's just...
Fine, I'll fucking go first. So
Okay,
this match was
go.
awesome. I actually
This
got
match was.
I was disappointed that Seth cashed in, not because I didn't want to see him win the title. I was really into the match. I wanted to see them guys finish it. I didn't think this was going to be good. It started off as a fucking brawl to the point that Brock got split open in the opening seconds, and Brock just stiffed the fuck out of him all match. And every time that Reigns hit back, he fucking hit him back just as hard. It was fun. And I wish the cameraman did a better job. He's doing a lot of fucking... You know what? Fuck Kevin Dunn. I'm blaming him. There was doing this thing where Roman's laughing the entire match that even for all this pain and a beating, he's such a sick bastard that he can laugh at it. And they didn't show the shots enough. And he was clearly playing to the hard cam too. So I'm like, the fuck?
They missed out on that shot of him punching the ground and then the fireworks going off.
Uh-huh.
Like, they lagged for a second on that. That was an awesome shot, though, what they did get.
Yeah, like the panning going around, but the initial, like when he drove his fist into the mat, looks stupid.
And they went out of their way to show the blade, if that's true.
So, yeah, overall, fucking really fun match. Happy with the cash-in. And everyone looked strong in this match. When Roman Reigns had his comeback, and he hit him with, like, the Superman punch 3 times, and he wouldn't go down, I thought that was sweet. And for a moment, I thought he'd actually take it. So, couldn't say anything more about this match other than positive things. And Brock Lesnar did a juice job. And there is pictures of the actual blade, so it's true. And WWE apparently is trying to cover it up, so fuck them.
There's a
Those are
few...
pictures of the blade.
There's a gif where it's clearly been passed for him to cut.
These guys dressed up at Comic-Con.
Do you see an actual blade being passed?
Yes.
You see a blade, like you actually see a physical blade in the guy's
Yeah,
hand,
like
or you just see them
they
passing
put
an object.
they put a sign on it and it said blade.
Oh.
So anyways, this
Because my impression of it is there's another point of view a bit later where you see Roman Reigns using a blood pill in his mouth. So, just saying, maybe he was being passed that.
Yeah.
Maybe
Mr. Sleuth.
Well, I'm no Cliff Clefton.
I will say was a stiff as fuck match, like Wago said. I really enjoyed it, and there are some points, some of the shots that they took. I think they've kept on playing a point when Reigns like kneed Brock in the fucking head. Like, oh my god, that was fucking brutal to watch. And just like what you said, it was just like essentially was just a repeat of the Cena Lesnar match at SummerSlam in a lot of ways. Just suplex. We got Suplex City, bitch, which is one of the good best things that came out of this match. And Lesnar came out strong in the end. He didn't get pinned, and he still looks strong on Monday, even though we're not going to see him for at least a couple months now. But hey, I have no complaints about this match at all. When it came to the cash in, it was random. I don't know if it's helped or hurt the cash in. They didn't really play the cash in as a possibility as much leading up to this, so it added to the surprise because not that many people were really expecting it. But at the same time, you didn't think of it as like a possible thing storyline wise. That didn't play a part of it at the possible cash in could happen. So I don't know if that helped or hurt the cash in at all. We'll have to see in the future at least. But yeah, the match was good. I think Roman Reigns is going to be fine out of this at least. You know, he'll be a champion someday. I don't know if it'll be this year. I think I had him as my one to watch last year, and he fucking wasn't champion. But I think it's possible that he could win the championship sometime down the line, maybe at Night of Champions. I think Seth is going to have that title for a little while. So it was a great match, and I enjoyed every second of it.
Sean, I know that you're big on this.
I am very big on this, but you know,
Seth Rollins made him big.
We broke him.
I've lost my train of thought. There was a part of me that knew Seth Rollins was going to cash in because Michael Cole kept going on and on and on. Or whoever's going to be the champion will be on blah, 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 that Monday show. Whatever it's called, the Today Show. In the morning. Whoever it may be. And I was like, oh, it's going to be Seth Rollins. It's going to be a cash in at some point. So I was there. But I wasn't expecting it in the middle of the match. I was expecting it after the match, where I thought Roman Reigns was going to win this match because he came out looking strong. And we did get to see that moment where Brock Lesnar countered a Superman punch into an F5, which was pretty badass. So that was good. And then when Seth Rollins did cash in, I jumped out on my chair, screamed like a little schoolgirl, and started screaming at my daddy. And then, yeah, the curb stomp onto Roman Reigns. It was beautiful. So good. So very good.
So all in all, when it comes to WrestleMania, what are your final thoughts? What's your high point and your low point? Drew?
High point of the night is really tough to pick. I don't know if I want to go with my high point of just Seth Rollins winning the title, or if I want to go with just my favorite match. But I'm gonna go with Seth Rollins winning the title as my high point of the night. Fantasy team, thank you, Sean. And my low point, it'll just have to be the Divas because it you know. Actually, no, not even the Divas. I'm gonna because I didn't even skip that. I skipped the concert, so that will be my low point of the night. The one thing I didn't watch, I skipped. So that's gonna be my low point. Did you also ask for my overall views of Mania? Or
Yeah, good, bad, or meh.
It was good. It was a great Raw, and I know some people. Wait, Raw, fuck me, Mania. God damn it.
Mania was a great episode of Raw.
But just when it came to Mania itself, people are already touting it as the greatest Mania of all the time, or one of the greatest. To me, it's really hard to say something like that initially right after it happens, because, like I said, the build up to this was terrible, and it turned out to be a lot better than people expected. So those low expectations of Mania, just everything was turned out to be so much better that people might just be touting it just because it was a lot better than what they expected. So when it comes to people saying it's the greatest Mania of all time, I'm not going to say that right away. I think it's possibly could be, but I'm going to wait and look at this back like 5 years from now before I could really say if this is going to be one of the best ones ever. So it was a great Mania, and I'm glad that it turned out to be a lot better than what it was initially planned to be. And this gives me hope that WWE also will make everything better. At least the wrestlers actually give a shit when it comes to Mania, at least. And this gives me hopes for next year's Mania as well.
Peyton?
It was a very good show. I gotta say, I had a group of people over. Most of them are not wrestling fans, and a lot of them said they actually enjoyed the show. And they've been coming to my house for years at WrestleMania, and they'll kind of be into it. But they said more than any other year when they come to watch it, they really enjoyed this one. There was a lot of excitement. There were a lot of fun times in it. A few surprises. It was a fantastic show. As far as the best, it's debatable. I mean, it's always subjective. Everyone has a different idea of what their favorite WrestleMania of all time is going to be. So I'm not going to tell anyone what they think the best is or not. For me, I wouldn't say best, but I think it's an easy top fiver. It was a fantastic show. At the very least, it broke the curse of the even odd WrestleManias being good and bad in the last number of years. I don't think anyone could argue that. Shit, man, this has been 2 amazing WrestleManias 2 years in a row. Fucking damn good after how fucking horrendous 29 was.
Yeah, so this also gives me a lot of hope that the coming ones, like as in like the next 10, are going to be really good. So hopes are high essentially for now. WWE's the future looks really good, especially with NXT coming up eventually.
So the high point for me is going to be Triple H's entrance, and the low point for me is going to be Bray Wyatt's offense in this match. Ugh.
Sean?
I say, for me, this is my favorite WrestleMania. I gave it an 8 out of 10. The reason it was an 8 out of 10 is the John Cena match, though, and the Ronda Rousey and The Rock thing was a bit too long-winded for me.
Man, so wait, every other WrestleMania for you is below an 8 out of 10?
Yeah.
Wow.
Jeez, you really must fucking hate Mania.
I'm very particular when it comes to my wrestling. I'm sorry, you know.
No, you're just mad that the other Manias didn't have Seth Rollins on it. That's probably why you don't like them.
No, I like last year's main event. I thought last year's main event was pretty good. There wasn't enough Daniel Bryan for me in the main event. But you know, it is what it is. But yeah, I enjoyed this WrestleMania. Low point was the Sting's entrance. I'm going to go with the low point with Sting's entrance, and the high point was Bray Wyatt's entrance. I thought that was really good. And Seth Rollins winning the championship, of course. Love that guy.
Wego?
Damn, Sean, you fucking sounded passionate about that. A little too passionate. As far as my overall thoughts on WrestleMania goes, it was an awesome show. I always held WrestleMania 17 as my standard of the perfect WrestleMania, with 19 being a close second. And right now, keeping in mind that the hype's still there, WrestleMania 31 is the best for me. I'm going to probably look back in this in 6 or 9 months and have a different view on it. But whilst it didn't have the hype, the wrestling quality on this show, I think it trumps any other overall card. High point goes to Brock Lesnar versus Roman Reigns. Not so much the cash-in, but the actual match, because that was just really fucking fun. And the fans were really into it. Suplex City, bitch. And my low point, I'm going to echo Sean's words with Sting's entrance. With how much work they put into Triple H's, it was almost disrespectful how bad his was. And the fact that it had no context whatsoever. Fucking Japanese drummers out of sync with your shitty entrance music. Terrible.
I'm going to say a lot of the same things here. I thought that this was a great WrestleMania. Definitely contender for pay-per-view of the year. So, you know, stay tuned for that at the end of the year awards. Low point is going to be Rusev and John Cena. Just did not enjoy that match. High point, if it's not going to go to the Seth Rollins cash-in, it's got to be DX versus NWO, because that was just fucking sweet. Very cool pay-per-view, though. Very much the opposite of what the build to this was, because that was a struggle. Thankfully, they did break that curse. And if WrestleMania 32 can be just as good, if not better, then awesome. So, as always, leave your comments below for all the different matches that we went over. Tell us what you guys thought of this pay-per-view and everything that went down, and what do you think is going to end up happening for Extreme Rules and everything else going forward. We have one more thing to do for this episode. Stay tuned, everybody. Fantasy League.